Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Just Run podcast with me, Nathan Marshall, and Reese can't make it this evening because his boys just had a fall. So family first. So Reese, hope the boys okay. This week we go over to Ireland, where we speak to David. I'm not going to pronounce his surname because I will just slaughter it. I'll let David mention his surname. But hi, Dave. How are you?
Well, Nathan, how's things?
Yeah,
David
good.
Keller, you were better off not trying to pronounce it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good,
I
good
seen
name.
that. I tried it a few times. I thought, no, no, I'm not going to even attempt
Yeah,
it. Which bit of Ireland are you in?
yeah. I'm down in the southeast of Ireland, down in Rosser Strand. Maybe like Pembroke. Fishguard would be well known to your listeners, and I'm at the other side of the pool, so I'm in Rosser Strand. It's a blue flag beach resort, and yeah, it's I would say it's the sunny southeast, but it isn't at all. It's wet and rainy and a bit hot, which is not ideal.
Well, it's a reason why Ireland's green. All
Yeah,
that
that's
rain,
it.
rain, sun, rain, sun. So, Dave, you currently, if I get this right, you represent Ireland in your age group. For what
That
distance?
yeah, that's what. So like actually, I what I would say around that is, so I represented Ireland in the World Masters Mountain Running Championships in 2020 2022, 23. That was essentially just mountain running, right? So it was shorter distance. It was 11 kilometers through the Comer Mountains down between Tipperary and Waterford, and 11K, and it was a race up the mountain effectively. So I managed to wear the green jersey just once. But what it did take away from that. So when I competed in the event, listen, it was a mass. I don't know if you're familiar with the with mountain running at all, as in the kind of World Mountain Running Championships. Have you heard of them? Or I don't
I haven't,
think
no.
they've been held in Wales. Yes, I was in age category, so I was between the age of 35 to 39. It's a big event. Like it was how I came across it actually was, I'm a member of IMRA, which is the Irish Mountain Running Association. I assume there's probably an equivalent to that in Wales. Is there? I suspect there is. And what they do is they organize running events all throughout Ireland, and they're really well organized. And one of them was on locally in my own area in a mountain called Ford Mountain. So I competed in that, and then I went onto their website, the IMRA, and I heard the World Masters Mountain Running Championships was being held in Telfs in Austria, and I was like, right, I want to get on board with that. I was too late to go to Austria, so I was like, I'll go wherever it's going next year, and I got on to Timra. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to wear a green jersey? That sort of stuff. And just by pure coincidence, it was the next country the following year was going to be in Ireland. Like it could have been anywhere in the world. Like last year, it was in Madeira, and this year it's on in San Frank. So it's a big event, though. However, like the race that I was in, there was over 800 athletes from 29 different countries. Um, there was five different age categories. There was in and around 40 people in my own age group category, and they were predominantly Irish, English, Northern Irish, Welsh, um, US, and there was a couple of French and Italians in there as well. So it was really cool. It was a brutal. The race itself was brutal. However, right, you were starting off flat at the end of the Comer Mountains, and the end of September, which is we were just talking offline about the ultra that I'm training for. Now it's always raining in Ireland in September, and it's always windy and it's always cold, and this particular run was going straight up the Comer Mountains for 11 kilometers, and it was a race. So in the race itself, I was in middle card. I didn't feature. You know, there was some serious athletes though in that starting line. There was uh, um, Andrew Douglas. I don't know if you're familiar, if you've heard of him. He's a Scottish ultra runner, and he's a mountain runner, and he's sponsored by Hoka, and he was on the starting line, and Jacob Scott, another English Team GB ultra runner as well, was on the starting line. So there was some big names on the starting line, you know, and a couple of them just flew off, you know. They're professional athletes, effectively, you know. At the end of the day, I'm a dad of two kids, you know. I work full time, multinational insurance company, and you know these lads are beasts. So yeah, like I was middle of the card, but I loved the mountain running element of it. Not so much like I just didn't have the speed to keep up with those lads, you know. Like it was 11K and I think it was 1,000 meters elevation, which means nothing to you guys in Wales, I'm sure. You've some serious mountains, but I was mid of the range, but I loved the trails, but knew that I didn't have the speed. So I was like, right, love the mountains. What else is going on that you can enjoy the run a bit as well, you know? So
How
that's when
did
I
you
kind of
feel
turned
when
my
you
head
seen him
to
shoot
ultras.
off?
Oh, it was
How did,
incredible. Like you know, like and immediately after it, I thought these guys were superhuman. You know, because they just ran up the mountain, like straight up the mountain, like and there was this explosiveness that the elite athletes had that the other athletes didn't have. Right in my group, as I said, there was about 40 of us, and there was about 8 of them that just flew up, and the rest of us kind of got into a pack behind that and kind of brought ourselves through it. But so after that one race representing Ireland, there was another trials on for the British and Irish Masters Crossroad Championships, and I went on the trials for that, and I wasn't at the races really, you know. There was I was middle of the range, but the kickboxing was to try and get that explosive energy that the professional athletes had at the start, but yeah, it was really cool to talk to them and see them fly off. But I was definitely in the middle to the back, you know,
how long had you been
taking my
running
time on
at this point? Like, when did you start running
it.
in your life?
So I've always run. I'd say, you know, like in secondary school and stuff, I did like schoolboys cross country, and I played rugby, and so did a bit of running with that. Um, but like not like I wouldn't say, like I still kind of wouldn't say I'm a runner really, you know, if I'm honest. Like I like in my 20s, I was just kind of focused on so many other things. Like it was in college, and I studied hard to be a B student, um and I traveled with college as well, and I did a degree and a master's in business. So and it's a funny one. Business is a funny one to be in college because when you finish college, you actually don't know where to pursue your career because there's so many different avenues, you know, like accountancy, finance, insurance, tech, and stuff like that. So like it had always just been my kind of gone out for a run, and I never said in my 20s I'm going to run a 10K or anything like that, or I'm going to compete in an event. Didn't happen. It was only when I was kind of in my 30s, and I don't know, Nathan, if you can relate to this, but I kind of always associated people who ran marathons as people who were like were stacked, as in like their priorities were all in tune. They had a bit of security, they had a bit of a career, they had all that sort of stuff. So they were able to focus on running a marathon. I feel in my 20s that I just wasn't in that headspace. I was trying to figure everything out. So yeah, like to answer your question, I kind of started doing the marathon really kind of my 30s, and I'm 40 now, so I'm not really that long in it. But like the
Do you
marathons,
think you're as you go through life and so like you become more stable, you start to look at your attention back, focusing on yourself and your own health rather than like family priorities, especially when you have the kids, because you want to have a fit, healthy life to be able to live longer, see their kids grow up. So do you think your focus has changes more on so like you become more aware of your health, own health?
Yeah, I think yes. I do think about, like, for me it was really kind of more like I find it as a fantastic de-stressor. Like I would say when I was in my 20s, I was a bit of a people pleaser. I kind of said yes to everyone, said yes to everything, and I just sacrificed my own personal time all the time, and it became quite frustrating for me. And kind of got a bit burnt out every now and again. Um, and then like I suppose at some point I just kind of said, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to start putting myself forward and doing what I want to do a bit more and be the person I want to be a bit more, rather than being kind of suffocated by doing things for other people. And at some point, maybe it's when I had kids, or maybe the lights just like clicked on or something, and I started saying, do you know what, I want to be that person that has that plan and that structure, and is committed to it, is driven, is motivated to run a marathon, and really, be passionate about the details, like, and be passionate about the times, VO2 max, and all the technicalities and stuff. I wanted to be that person, but I was so suffocated by doing things for everyone else that in my 20s and kind of early 30s that I kind of just didn't really have the time to focus on it. And then it's like I said, at some point it just said, right, well, you're not getting any younger. Uh, yeah, let's figure this out. Like, what do I want to do with my time? So
How do you actually fit your training in around family and work at the moment?
yeah, so like I'm definitely quite like you have to be quite stressful about it. Yeah, sorry, quite selfish about it. I like I'm a 40-year-old man. I have two kids. Jack is 7 and Sheen is 3, and a very patient wife. And I'm also involved in a couple of other things around the community. But like it's Sunday mornings, like they're my big runs, and I don't compromise that time for anything. I'll get up. We have a lovely mountain range up the road from me. It's called Ford Mountain, and it's a kind of a small mountain, but it's got beautiful trails on it. And I'll get up Sunday morning, go out there for 2 or 3 hours, uh, run around and the mountains, and it's like it's that's my own solace, and that's my own headspace, and I'm a better person as a result of it, for my family and for my wife and stuff. So I'm quite selfish with it, but yeah, that's the big one. And then during the week, Nathan, I guess it's just kind of, in the evenings going for runs, and like I said, I do a bit of kickboxing, and that's in a club. um but yeah, that's really it. Time is not my friend with it, for sure.
Do you follow a plan or anything, or do you go by feel, or do you have a rough idea what you need to do and try and fit it all in?
Yeah,
So obviously, well, parents, we struggle with time, so having a set plan doesn't always go to plan, does it?
oh.
So do you just sort of like have a rough idea what you need and then try and fit it in, or do you follow a strict plan?
Well, I'd say actually when I stopped playing rugby when I was kind of 32, 33, and I was going out kind of, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, and playing matches Saturdays. And I actually I left through injury. So um when I left, that's when that was around the same time that I said, right, I want to start focusing on marathons. I want to start focusing on me now, not focusing on everyone else. And I did for the marathon. I kind of said, right, I'm going to go online. I'm going to get a plan. I'm going to stick to the plan. And I did that for the marathon. But there were so many things I didn't like about the marathon. Now I don't know what your thoughts are on marathons, but I actually didn't like the structure of it. It just didn't suit me, and I didn't like the pressure of time as well. That I don't know, when you,
I
like,
hate
for me,
it.
the
Yeah,
way,
hate it.
yeah, like there was this, I put myself under so much pressure. And it's so funny because when someone says I did a marathon in 3 hours and 40 minutes, it's like, yeah, where did you do it though?
Yeah, you constantly sort of like looking at other people's Strava and comparing yourself, aren't you? And people are commenting, well, I did a marathon this time. And so there's a lot of egos in marathon distance, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And so I did it, and then I kind of like nearly threw it in the bin after that. And I was like, right, I'm not a 3 hours, 40 minutes marathoner. And I wasn't. I actually did my own marathon in the first marathon in 4 hours, 4 hours, 15 minutes, I think it was. Now, but it was a bit of a trail marathon as well. But even at that, like I was happy with my time, but it just becomes the question: what did you do the marathon in? What time did you do it in? I just didn't. You know what? I just didn't like the pressures of it. Again, it felt like to me it was people pleasing a bit in a weird way. So I was like, you know what? It still feels like I'm serving other people. I trained in Fort Mountain. I want to explore and see what's there. So I just went back to the mountain running and the trail running, and that's where the World Masters Mountain Running Championships came up, because I got into that kind of community of mountain runners, and then that opportunity came up to represent Ireland, and I did that event. But then really what that spurred on to me was, so there was the acknowledgement after doing that right, really loved wearing the green jersey, really cool experience, but I'm not going to be an elite athlete for, it's not in my cards. So, but I love the trail aspect of it. And then, of course, I think you'll know more than I will, but when you're kind of rubbing shoulders with people like this, you just ultimately hear about ultras. People say, "Oh, you've done a marathon and you like running on trails. Have you ever heard of an ultra marathon?" And that's where that all came out, and
What was your
it's been
first
brilliant.
one?
Yeah, so my first one was the Eco Trail. It was in Wicklow. It was in 20. So I'm doing my third one now, on the 28th of September. But my first one was the Eco Trail in Wicklow, and that was 50K, 1,800 meters elevation through the Wicklow Mountains. And it was in, again, late September, and it was a beast, is the only way to describe it. Like, it was, we're going through, like the landscape was amazing, kind of going through waterfalls and going up mountains, down mountains, and uh, beautiful landscape. And like, it's 50K, and it was the elements were horrible, but absolutely loved it. Dirty, emotionally exhausted after, mentally exhausted, but loved it, absolutely loved it. And like, as you said, Nathan, earlier, with kids, like I brought my kids to the finish line, and I think it's so important that they see their parents do stuff like that. Just, I'm sure you relate to it. Them
Yeah,
seeing you
I
doing
think they'll
something.
grow up thinking it's normal. So they'll hopefully look at fitness as being normal boot for them as well. So yeah, I think fitness is really important with your kids. It may take you a couple of hours away from them, but I think it's setting them up for a better life, hopefully. Touch
Yeah,
wood.
100%. Yeah, like I haven't experienced any cons with it at all. I've been very lucky. I haven't had any injuries, and I think it's funny as well. Like, I've only done a couple of ultras, right? But like, they've been kind of nearly that I put them in the calendar to keep myself motivated. But the real thing that I'm doing is going out to the trails. You know what I mean? As in, like, it's the Sunday
Yeah.
morning, going out to the trail, and like, it's lovely to have these, kind of medals at the end of something. But
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
the whole process, isn't it? It's the process everyone loves. Like the end race is just like the finish line for us, really. It's to celebrate everything, all the hard work we've just done in the last 6 months.
yeah, it's exactly, that's exactly it. And it just becomes, what do I do now? What's going to be in the calendar now in a couple of months?
Yeah.
So that's
What's
that's
next? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's finished. But yeah, no, really enjoy it, and it's I I wouldn't, like, someone said to me, is it escapism? Because ultra running in Ireland is relatively, sorry, it's, in my experience, I haven't really rubbed shoulders with very many people that do it. And someone asked me, what was it escapism? I was like, no, absolutely not. It's being selfish. It's saying this is my time. I'm here for my job. I'm here for my family most of the time. This is my 2 units of time to get my own space. It's not escapism for sure. It's enjoying myself. I think
Yeah, 100%.
yes, yeah,
I think it's important for us to sort of like try these stupid things, stupid distances, stupid races, for our own personal self-esteem, I suppose. Just say, oh yeah, I can do hard shit. That's
yeah.
why I do it anyway. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Actually, it's like when I did the first ultra, like I kind of felt as if the marathon, if I'm honest, and I didn't feel that. I kind of felt, listen, I'm like everyone else in a way, in that like the marathon, I don't think is as unusual as it once was. Like, I personally know a lot of people that have done marathons, but I think when you do ultras, particularly on the trails, and when you have the stuff like the rain, the crap weather, all the elements against you, and you're still running through it, like I think there's, when you finish it, there's a real sense that actually, you know what, I've got some serious perseverance, and I don't give myself enough credit for it during the day. And like, yeah, and it builds that person inside, and it exposes that person a little bit more for me, that I want to be that better person, a lot more. I don't want to be the frustrated, pissed off person. I want to be the person that kind of puts out challenges. And it's funny as well. I think that, like, when you put yourself out there, when I've been doing it, putting myself out there, your loved ones kind of do their own thing as well. That they kind of see that you're pushing yourself, and they kind of, like, this is my hope anyway, that that they're kind of saying, well, fuck it, if he can do that, I can do this. It doesn't necessarily need to be the same thing, but that's what I've experienced anyway.
Yeah, me too. Like my boy did his first 10K back in April. The wife signed up for a first half marathon. So yeah, I know it's rubbing off on them. They say it doesn't, but and she slates me for going for runs, but I know it does rub off on the wife. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it, but don't tell her I said that.
Yeah, and isn't that brilliant, isn't it? That
It
that
is,
that you
yeah, I
that,
love it. Like we went to the
yeah.
gym today and she had a wicked session. It was an hour just lifting weights. She killed it. So going back to your first ultra, did you have any knowledge of nutrition and fueling and stuff?
Relative, not a lot now.
Or did you just take a bit of water and some jelly babies?
I took water, jelly babies. I followed a lot. Just I watched YouTube actually. I there was a girl, Sarah Place. Actually, is her name. She's an ultra runner. Are you familiar with her? Have you heard of her?
Is that Ben Park's wife or girlfriend?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So she's done some serious events. So I followed her, and she did the Snowdon Ultra actually, the Snowdonia Ultra, and I kind of just followed her guidance actually. Take this with you, take this with you. So I went in with a bag full of crap and didn't eat half it. And it all made perfect sense in my head at the starting line. But then when you're kind of exhausted and you're just breathing and hearing your cadence and telling yourself to give up every 2 seconds, you're just not thinking about gels. You're thinking about,
No,
how do I get off this
no.
course as quickly as I can? Yeah.
I've come away from gels completely, to be honest. I'd only use them if I've got nothing else, but I'll try and eat as much normal food as possible and have a sandwich every hour.
I would love to be like that actually. I can't stomach it. The sandwiches. I did try that. I also made on another one, another ultra did. I made like banana pancakes, and I started eating them, and they were a bit lighter in the stomach. But for whatever reason, sandwiches just kind of made me feel quite lethargic after them. But if you can eat sandwiches, easy.
Have
That's
you
great.
tried chocolate square bars?
I haven't. No, I will try that though. Do you
100
make them yourself?
calories? No, the Kellogg's ones, you can buy them in the supermarket.
Ah, okay. Chocolate
Yeah,
square bars.
because they're the same stuff that they have in most bars anyway for running. It's the same stuff, but a lot cheaper and
Sounds
branded as a cereal.
not
Yeah,
cheap. That's what I was meant to say. Yeah.
yeah, a lot cheaper. Yeah, give them a try.
Yeah.
You were running before your kids, and what was your distances like then? Like, were they quite short, or when was your first marathon?
The first marathon was in 2021. So
Oh, not long ago.
before, yeah, not that long ago. Yeah. So before that, I did a lot of halves before that. But again, I think when I did them, I didn't really have the intention of doing a marathon. It was just there's a half marathon on in April, so I'll kind of train from January and then I'll do that. But it wasn't even on my radar actually to do the full. And I think it was just because there's so many other things, so many other plates that I was spinning in the air at the time, be it family, trying to get my career moving, trying to get buy a house, all that sort of stuff, and trying to fit in a bit of travel as well. So it was just keeping fit. So yeah, it wasn't like even when I was in college, like I'd run around. I was in college in Dublin, in the capital, and like most evenings I'd run all around Dublin, and we didn't have Garmin watches at the time. I don't think I had any idea what lengths I was running, but I was just going out for an hour or two, running around Dublin.
When you go on holiday now, do you
So
take all your running kit with you?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Any opportunity now is, as we were saying earlier, like time is so difficult to get. So any opportunity now, I've got the runners, and sometimes like when I'm traveling as well, I might forget something like the right pair of shorts, or I might forget my socks, or I might forget my t-shirt, and you look ridiculous running around wherever you are in these cotton shorts and my Nike Pegasus runners. But you can't let stuff like that stop you.
No, definitely not. No. What's the best place you've actually gone for a run? Does it anywhere else
um,
compare to Ireland for you?
um, so I did I've run around the Canaries a bit, Puerto Rico and Gran Canaria. My family go there a couple of times a year, and I go with them now, not in an event or anything like that. But they if you've ever been to that area, they've got some lovely trails and stuff like that, kind of in inland Puerto Rico. So that's been lovely. Like in terms like the heat is amazing there. I actually on my bucket list is I'd love to do the Marathon des Sables in Fuerteventura. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Yeah.
um, I think the big one in Morocco is probably a bit kind of that's I would love that. I just know I wouldn't have the time to give it an honest effort. So the one in Fuerteventura is the one two. I think it's 128 is it kilometers. So that would be amazing, and it's on the seafront as well. So yeah, that's kind of on my bucket list. To do a Fuerteventura, the one in Fuerteventura.
I ask everyone this. Have you ever thought about the Dragon's Back?
Yeah, of course I have. Of course I have. Again, so that's and the Marathon des Sables in Fuerteventura are my two bucket lists. I'd actually planned to do it this year, and I was going to do the is it the duckling or the hatchling one?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it, the hatchling? So
Yeah, it's a bit shorter than the normal. They're still over the 5 days, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I kind of I was chickening out a tiny bit on the big one because there's obviously there's videos on YouTube about it and it looks so brutal. Um so I will do the hatchling one. And then I understand as well that if you do the hatchling, you can go back and do the hatchling again the next year. And by completing it, you're actually doing the Dragon's Back. So maybe it's the the smarter way around doing it rather than doing it all at once.
Yeah, I'm looking to volunteer one year first. just to get those.
All right.
So like, yeah, because you get a massive discount for the year later. And also you get to learn about like what's the best for camp admin and stuff, like how they get in their kit, locations and stuff like that. So you learn those from it. And a lot of runners do that. So that might be an option for you. I
No,
think it
yeah,
starts
that's
this
nice.
weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this weekend. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Plus, you've also got UTMB. It's starting this weekend.
UTMB. Yeah, the OCC is, I think, was today, was it? In the UTMB.
Yeah, and I'm just looking on Instagram, and everyone I know seems to be out in Chamonix, which is making me sick at the moment.
Who's this?
Um, do you know Lewis Roblin? He was episode 5 or 6. It's why we
Yes,
run.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
actually running UTMB.
Ah, the full UTMB. Wow.
Yeah, we had Becca Salmon. She was
Oh, Becca's Essex. Yes.
yeah, she was a couple of episodes ago. She ran today. But yeah, there's loads of
Oh,
people
wow.
out there we know. Sophie, who is our physio on here, she's actually out there supporting Lewis.
Okay.
Grant Gregor, who's also been on here, he's out there supporting him. So yeah, just everyone's out in bloody Chamonix, and it's making me jealous. I'm trying to stay off Instagram at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lewis,
Well,
if you're here listening to this, good luck, mate. I know you'll crush it.
UTMB would be amazing. I don't. Is that in your cards? Any plans to do something like that yourself?
I love to, but I just think he'd probably be beyond me because I am absolutely shit climbing mountains. I got
Really?
such
Yeah.
big calves. Yeah, I got massive calves, and the amount of lactic acid that builds up in them is ridiculous. So I've got to go really slow to keep my heart rate down, to be able to clear it enough. But once I get to the
Yeah.
top, recovery's great. I can fly again. But going up them, I'm really slow. So
Yeah.
guess what I've got to do in the next couple of weeks? Add more hills into my training.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
There's also the what I try and do during the week is there's the stairmasters. Are you familiar with them? They're in
Yeah, I
my
do
local gym.
an hour solid on that when I do it.
Would you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just for the sheer misery of it.
yeah. It's torture, but
Yeah,
it's that like I've been focusing on that quite a lot recently because like with the eco trail I've got coming up, like I said, it is in the Wicklow Mountains, and it's the elevation is ridiculous, and Wicklow to me is it's about an hour and 40 minutes away, so I don't have the time to drive up there in the Sunday mornings. So I'm settling on the smaller mountain locally to me, which is Four Mountain, but I still know I'm not getting that elevation. So that Stairmaster I'm looking forward to seeing the back of it now, to be honest with you, for a couple of months
yeah, I
after
love it
this
and
run.
hate it at the same time. I
Yeah.
love it and hate it.
If you're stuck for time, it's the best.
Yeah,
You sweat profusely in 40 minutes and that.
yeah, miserable, absolutely miserable. What other gym stuff do you do?
So I like in like when I was playing rugby in my 20s, I did I ran around towns and evenings and stuff like that, but I was a skinnier rugby player, so in my 20s I was kind of told to put on a bit of muscle, so I spent a lot of time in my
Did you
20s
play on the
trying to
wing?
lift. I played in the wing,
Did you play?
yeah. Yeah, exactly, I played in the wing, yeah. And then I got too slow, so I played on the bench then for a while. So,
I was a winger
but
as well, and when I was in school, I was just leaving school, and professional rugby was turning into the likes of Jonah Lumu. I was like, oh no, I'm
yeah,
just going to
no,
be way too small for rugby, so I went to football then.
yeah, that's it. Like I to be honest with you, I'm 6 foot now, and when when I stopped playing rugby, and this is predominant, like I was trying to put on as much muscle as I could, which you come here, like I wasn't doing anything serious, but lifting weights and stuff like that, and I'd say it was probably 14, maybe 14 and a half stone and 6 foot. I wasn't at the races, and rugby is very big as well, down my area. So you have 21-year-old lads who are 6'5" and 18 stone and able to run. You have a problem. So
Yeah, kids today are monsters, absolutely monsters.
yeah, they understand nutrition so much more. You don't know as well as I did. Like in my teens, like the gym didn't really exist. There was no, for me anyway, like even time Robbie in my teens, there was no go to the gym and do weights. That just didn't exist. Where it's huge now. Everyone does it, and they know what they're putting into their body, all that sort of stuff. So it's great for them, but
Yeah, social media has made it more mainstream and accessible, I suppose, isn't it? And made it more of a norm for kids today to go to the gym, which is great. But then also they pick up bad habits as well. Like I was actually in the
yeah,
gym today, and I know there's a kid in there who does steroids, and I haven't seen him for 6 months, and he was just massive, absolutely huge. He's only about
yeah,
19. He's huge.
yeah.
He's put on so
It's
much
really,
muscle in the last. It's just not natural.
yeah. I think you can kind of tell as well, though, can't you? Like I was doing so much weights, but I didn't do any I'm assuming like creatine and stuff like that is brilliant, but I never used it. But like you could really tell the difference, if someone was doing steroids, you could just tell, listen, you know,
Yeah, you
you
can
do
tell by the
look
mass,
like,
can't you?
yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like as well, they're still doing the work, but how good is it for their body? Like how good is their for their kidneys? And actually, in saying that, I remember, so I'd stopped playing rugby due to a couple of injuries that I sustained. Thankfully, nothing to do with my legs or my back or anything like that. But I went to the GP to get like a full medical done on me, and he had said that I had high cholesterol, and he'd said, right, you need to cut out eating crap, and I was like, I don't eat crap ever, and I go to the gym all the time. And I was just doing the wrong stuff in the gym. That was it. Like I was going in and I was picking up weights, and that was it. And then when I put the rugby to the side and I stopped doing weights and started just doing running out and cardio, my cholesterol dropped 4 or 5 points, So just imagine how hard it must be if you're going to the gym all the time and being told that you're unfit. So it just seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I always think of people lifting weights is it's like having a kit car. It looks great on the outside, but what's under the hood is a pile of shit. Like, could
Yeah,
they
no,
run a
no,
mile without being out of breath? And what's more important later in life? Yeah, it's great to have a
100.
muscle mass, but you've got to have a decent heart and aerobic capacity.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I don't really, I didn't really understand it. Like, I understood why I was doing it, for rugby, because like you wanted to be able to tackle lads and stuff. But for me, I don't understand why you would want to do it just for the sake of doing it. To be honest, I don't know. But yeah, it wouldn't be my cup of tea.
How did you feel when you stopped playing rugby? Did you miss like the changing room aspect of it, like the banter part of it?
Yeah,
And so like being around the mates all the time, and how did it affect you?
yeah, it was tough. So I had to leave, right, because I had a concussion. We were on a Wednesday night training session, and I ran into someone who was 3 times the size of me, and it knocked me out, and went to the GP, and like the GP said, listen, this happens on occasion in rugby. It's part and parcel. It happens every now and again. So I thought nothing of it, and then 6 weeks later, I went back and played another rugby match again, and I was only just on the field, and someone hit me, and I was knocked out again. So that was that. It was tough to take, tough pill to swallow, because it was actually like my parents and my wife had said, you're done with rugby now. It's getting dangerous for you, and it was strange, because when I associate all of me in my personal time into rugby, and that's taken away from me, that's when I really need to figure stuff out really quickly. It's like, right, that's completely swept from under my feet. I need to figure out what I want to do, and that's when the marathon and that sort of stuff come in. And but yeah, not pleasant. I wouldn't say there was an adjustment period for sure, moving into it.
Yeah, it's stuck for me when I stopped playing football. It just leaves a massive void, and it's like, what the hell do you do? I do worry about my daughter because my daughter's she's in the under 20s Welsh side, and I worry about her when she goes pro. Like, will she get absolutely flattened? 'Cause she's quite small. Um, yeah, and I just wonder, so like, what would happen if she got injured to the point where she couldn't play again? Because she's played since age 5, and she's been into like the Welsh development thing for the last 5, 6 years now. So I just think and hope that she doesn't get injured, so that doesn't take it away from her. Because I think she'd be devastated. She wouldn't know what to do with herself.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Your daughter is playing under 20 for Wales. Wow, that's you must be so proud
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
amazing. I'll send you a video after. She's phenomenal as well. She's
Yeah,
outside half, but she's
wow,
been with the
Jesus,
Welsh.
brilliant.
Yeah, she's been with the Welsh women's squad for the last year in development. So she's been training with them. So she's in the camps with the Welsh women's side now.
Wow, Jesus, that's amazing. That's representing your country, and when you talk about playing rugby, wow, that's
Yeah,
that's the pinnacle of wearing the red jersey.
yeah.
From your perspective,
It's nuts
equally.
because you see her passport. In the last year, she's been to France, Poland, Italy, Trinidad, Tobago, and Thailand. She's all playing
Oh,
rugby.
wow. Listen, that's she's living the dream.
She is,
Like
yeah.
that's every lad's and anyone's dream when they're in their 20s is to get paid to do something you love and to travel, and then also have the unbelievable pride of representing your country as well. That I'm delighted. That's amazing for her. And as you said earlier, when that opportunity, when that path ends, like if she's watching her dad out running, and like that'll just become the next thing, and that's what I hope as well for my own kids, and that they start picking that up, because there's no cons to it in my experience. Like you just you need to manage your body a tiny bit, which is good. Like like I know to say to myself, right, I need to get an ice bath here because my legs are a bit sore. You kind of start to learn to take yourself as priority, and
Yeah.
they're not bad habits to have. Right, I'm going to take care of myself. I want to manage myself and be kind to myself, that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, because you're always adding
yeah, brilliant.
like yoga and stuff, don't you? So you're helping with your overall health just by, I need to do yoga just to keep me running a bit more. So running has got no cons. I don't know. But saying that, I have actually broke more bones running than I did when I played rugby, which I found bizarre.
Oh,
I
really?
thought, yeah, yeah, I thought about it the other day. Um, Back last year, I broke my ribs. Where had a slip and just went flat on my back like Home Alone. And a couple of weeks ago, I broke my ankle running the Welsh Coastal Path. So yeah, I broke more bones running than I have playing rugby, which I find nuts. Crazy.
Was it ice when you fell on your back? Was it icy, or was it just
No,
rocks, or what was it?
it, no, I went out with a very old pair of Speedgoats and I had no tread on them because I'd been waiting to hear if I was
Ah,
going to get
okay.
sponsored or not. I didn't bother buying anything new because I didn't know if I was getting shoes or not.
Yeah.
So I went out and it was just, ah, I might as well have worn a Formula One tire because they were just slick. Yeah, I couldn't stand up.
Oh, yeah.
I went
Yeah.
over about 5 times. At one
Oh,
point,
man.
I slipped onto my back and just slid down the mountain on my back,
Oh,
in a
geez.
starfish position,
Oh,
just
no.
laughing to
Jesus.
myself.
Wait. Yeah, she said
And
this.
out of
Yeah, I
nowhere, this
run.
woman just jumped out of a bush and said, "You okay?" I was like, "Where the hell did you come from?"
Yeah. No, I'm not. No, not okay.
But
No, geez.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, be very careful. The twisting the ankles one is a real one as well, isn't it? That like I've definitely gone over on it a couple of times, particularly going downhill. And it's always in the back of your mind. Am I going to twist it? But
yeah. I went over a few times on it, and when I got to the hospital to have a look at my infection, they gave me an X-ray and they said, "Oh no, you've actually fractured your ankle as well." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, Jesus, yeah. But
Yeah.
like, so
Oh
you've had a bit of a tumbling experience, but like generally, I don't think there's any cons to it.
no, no,
Uh,
I love it.
yeah,
Love it. Yeah, it's changed my
yeah,
life running.
yeah, for sure. Like, what's not to like about it? You're going out. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't wear headphones or anything like that, and
I don't
so
anymore now. No,
yeah,
completely.
you can go
Yeah,
out and relax and yeah, just putting yourself forward, putting yourself first and it's so important to do that, I think. So yeah,
yeah,
there's no
and
cons.
totally agree. No, I totally agree. And on that positive note, I think we'll call it a day. And thank you, David, for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. And it's a great to meet you, Nate. And I'm a fan of the podcast. So thanks a million
It's
for having
great
me
to
on.
hear. Obviously, we're only doing this just to, like, share stories of people like yourself and to others to get them out running, show that you don't have to be an elite runner to do amazing things. And that's what
Yeah,
we love about ultra running, is everyone stands on the start line. We're all just from normal background. We've all got full-time jobs, all got kids, and we all try and fit it in where we can. And we just go out there and crush it each week. Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks for coming on,
and
Dave.
you get to meet amazing people as well. So
You do,
uh,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes I just look through the profile and Instagram page and just like, Jesus, look at these people. Like these people who I've admired for years through like YouTube and stuff. And now I can just mess them up and have a chat with them. It's great. It's
yeah,
absolutely great. It's amazing. Just because we love running.
yeah, no, for sure. But
Absolutely brilliant. Nice. Thanks for that, Dave.
no, thank you very much, and I hope Reese's son is all right.
His son's always back in his head.